Body to Rutherford County Board of Education regular meeting. First order of business tonight is the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Board Chairman and former Board Chairman and Board Member Terry Hodge. Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Number 4 on your agenda is, number 3 on your agenda is a moment of silence, and the board would appreciate it if you would join us in remembering these families tonight. Jeanette Egley, a family on the loss of her mother, and Norma Jean Weiss, who passed away last week. Ms. Egley works in our accounting department. Also, our fellow board member Terry Hodge and his wife Linda, and the loss of Linda's mother, Martha Drew Lemming. Ms. Hodge is secretary at Oakland High School. And Mr. Kerry Holman and family in the loss of his dad, James Elliott, who passed away this week. Mr. Holman is the Laverne Middle School principal. If you would join us, please, in a moment of silence. Thank you. Remind the audience that's here and the audience on television that the board has reviewed a number of these things in a work session earlier this week. And also, although you can see it behind us, we can see it in front of us, and we have paper copies, and we have the technology right here in front of us as well. First order of business now, regular board business, the approval of the agenda, and I need a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Blair. Second, Ms. Moore, thank you. All in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And the consent agenda, I need a motion to approve that, please.
So moved.
I believe that was Mr. Young. Thank you. A second, Mr. Hodge. Thank you. Any comments? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And if you'll move on to visitors, and I don't believe we got plenty of people, but really, they're visitors, aren't they? Can't they all speak for 3 minutes each? I mean, no, probably not. But we have no visitors that have asked to speak, which brings us to number 7, and I believe we're ready to go, Ms. Moore, if you've noticed. Certainly, I want to, and for the board and for the director, who will say something in just a second, I want to welcome our visitors from Nashville, from the Hill, our elected representatives that are here, many of them joining us tonight. I appreciate them being here always. I want to repeat that, always welcome in this building for any meeting that we might have. And Director, why don't you carry on from there?
I would like to join with Chairman Jordan in thanking you for coming this evening and your presence. And it's a pleasure to have you here, and especially for this evening. Dr. Terry, Representative Mike Sparks, I think Representative Rudd is here. I think I saw him walk in a few minutes ago. I see Representative Don White at the back and Senator Bill Ketchum on the front row here. Thank you again for being here this evening.
Ms. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll come up here if that's all right. I need to borrow Miss Emily's stool.
Mike, did I miss your name?
Okay. Good evening. Director Odom, Chairman Jordan, fellow board members, all of our visitors, and to all of those that will be watching us on TV. I think that's up to about 5 now, isn't it? It is truly my privilege to be able to introduce our Rutherford County state legislators that are here with us this evening. So at this time, I'd like to invite all of them to come up here and join me. We've got Representatives Mike Sparks, Don White, Brian Terry, and Tim Rudd, as well as Senator Ketchum that have joined us tonight. And they have a special presentation to make, but real quickly before they do, just a couple things I'd like to share. I was thinking earlier today about how these days you can pick up or look at just about any form of media, whether it's print or social media, and you're going to see some sort of article about the dismal state that our public schools are in. And what I'd like to point out to everyone this evening is that our Rutherford County school system is most assuredly not a dismal one. In fact, we continually and consistently set and exceed the bar for our state as an example of what an exemplary school system, public school system, looks like. So there's great pride to be taken in our academic success. And an excellent example of that, I think we have the principal here with us this evening, would be the recent announcement that Rutherford County has the #1 highest ranked high school in the state of Tennessee in our own Central Magnet School. Our relationship with our local and state level representatives is crucial to continuing to keep the public schools alive and well in our community. So we're fortunate to have state legislators such as these representatives and Senator Ketron, as well as Senator Tracy, who's not here with us this evening, that believe in and are proud of these district public school systems, and we know do all they can to make sure that we have the support, the state support that we need to march on. So thank you, representatives, for all that you do to support and encourage us. Your presence and reason for being here tonight, which has a little element of surprise in it, shows that commitment to our schools. So with that being said, I'm not going to take up any more time. I'm going to ask Dr. Terry to come up and explain why they are here this evening.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having us, and I'd like to thank Lisa Moore for helping coordinate this. We are excited to be able to present a resolution honoring someone who has meant a great deal to education in Rutherford County. Her dedication to students, parents, and families has left a positive impact on thousands of people in our community. I'm speaking about the one and only Paula Barnes. If you'd like to join us, please. On a personal note, Ms. Barnes was our son's first principal at McFadden, and she fostered an incredible learning environment. But more than that, she fostered a family atmosphere. Her leadership at McFadden provided my son with an education and foundation that will serve him for life. Representative Sparks, would you like to say a few words here?
Well, many may not know Miss Barnes was my teacher in 7th grade. And one thing I can honestly say, if I had to name 5 teachers that I knew truly cared, and if it wasn't true, I wouldn't say it, it was Miss Paula Barnes. I thought about early this week, and I thought about one of my best friends in class. He ended up overdosing on drugs. And I always remember you caring. And, you know, I'm so proud of Don Odom, and I always share the story of him paddling me back in the day for skipping school. But one thing that I like about that is that he cared. And if he didn't care, he wouldn't have busted my tail when I needed it. She was a hugger, not a paddler. So I'm paddling for her. But it's really an honor to be here. I know sometimes we may disagree, Chairman Jordan and others, but one thing we can agree on is we've got a great school system, great improvements to my district, Smyrna Elementary School, and Thurman Francis, Smyrna Primary School, just completed, and I want to compliment Miss Felicia James on the new principal over there at Smyrna Primary School, my old school. In fact, all 3 of those schools are my schools. So wore the orange tie. That was our school colors. Remember that? Thurman Francis Rams back in the day. So congratulations, and I want to compliment you on your retirement and your service. Thank you.
Don, do you have a few words you want to say there?
Well, congratulations. I know you are flooded with emotions tonight because, you know, you always think of that first class you had as a teacher, and you think, wonder what they're doing now. And so you have impacted so many children's lives, whether it's in the classroom, whether it is with being a principal, or now being in administration. And you've touched teachers' lives as well. So thank you so much for your service. We can never repay you for the hours you have given, the laughter and the tears that you have given to each and every one of your students and teachers. Thank you so much.
I want to say one thing that Lisa Moore had mentioned, talking about Central Magnet, and that was when our son was at McFadden. Paula was leading the charge on helping get Central organized as a magnet school. And with her leadership on that, and with others that were involved, obviously we have the #1 ranked high school in the state. And so appreciate her effort on that. And With her retirement, it is fitting that we recognize her service to the community and that we extend to Paula Barnes our heartfelt wishes for a happy and fulfilling retirement, applaud her dedication to the youth of Tennessee, and wish her much happiness and every continued success in her future endeavors. Thank you, Paula Barnes.
Say something. Sure. Well, I really don't have words to express my thanks to everyone for their recognition, for their support, for their love over the years. As I tell you, you know I cry because I was very emotional in the thought of saying goodbye, but I have loved every minute of my time with Rutherford County Schools, and I do feel like I've touched many, many lives, and I hope they have been positive touches, sometimes with a little heat and sometimes with a little humor. But that's what it takes, because you have different people in different circumstances, and it's very important that you find a way to reach everyone you come in contact with. So thank you very much for this recognition. I'm really honored, very surprised. You kept it a great secret. I'm impressed. And I just want to say thank you again for my service time here and for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Odom. Thank you, board, and thank you all. Thank you. I was really surprised, yes.
Ready? We also have number 8 on our agenda, and a happy thing that the director gets to do. Matter of fact, we got an agenda tonight that's just full of happy things.
Yeah, we do.
Really.
It's really good.
But go ahead with number 8.
Number 8, the first one is announcing a new principal for Smyrna Primary School, Miss Felicia James. Will be it. So she is moving down the hill, as we used to say in Smyrna, from David Urey down to Smyrna Primary, and spent some time also as a technology person in our school, so really stood out in the interview. So congratulations, Ms. James.
Families and those teachers at Smyrna Primary.
We also have a newly appointed instructional technology coordinator with the change, and that's Ms. Julie Benson, who is coming from Christiana Elementary. And again, little known facts about people that she did come from a time when she was a graphic artist, computer. Mr. Evans used to say, before we structured so much of the websites and put it out there where you fill in the blanks more or less now, she was the creative person that had one of the best websites of all Rutherford County schools. So she has the background and the original training in technology that a lot of people didn't know about you, Ms. Benson. Glad to have you with us this evening also.
Opportunity. I also am very grateful for my time at Christiana as principal there. It was a great school and continues to be that, and a great community. I look forward to working with this team and serving all of Rutherford County. Thank you very much.
Part B, as you can tell by looking around this room, the sport of archery, and make no mistake, it is a sport. It is not a TLWSAA recognized sport as yet, but and that may eventually come, I don't know, but you can just see the many, many participants in this room, and this board is very aware of the fact that it has exploded, and we are trying to adjust to that, but you have an introduction to make, I believe, and
I'm going to ask Mr. Eric Banana to come up and introduce some of these this evening. You know, it is while it might not be a TSSAA sport, it is an Olympic sport, isn't it?
It is an
And
Olympic
so,
sport, yes, sir.
We may be running a little behind the time. Thank you for coming this evening.
Thank you for having us. I greatly appreciate the board for having us tonight. And we've got some champions in the room, state champions, and we've got some archers that have done well nationally as well tonight. So first I'd like to recognize the individual state champions from this year's state tournament that was held at Miller Coliseum at the end of March. Our elementary school boy that placed first was Braden Leverett. I don't know if Braden's here tonight. No, he. Dominic Swader was our first place middle school male. He's here.
Come on up if you'd like to.
And then our first place over high school female is also here, Allison Blanton. These individuals took first place at the state championship in March, and wanted to recognize them for their individual performance. They helped also their teams perform well as well. So please give them a hand. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Alan Kessinger. He was the coach of the Stewart's Creek Middle School. They won their first state title as a team this year.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Oldham. We're in our fourth year. We just completed our fourth year. And we started, much like most of the other programs here, we had 1 net, 5 targets, 10 bows, I think 100 or 60 arrows, and about 110 kids. So, and that's how they all start that way. And it takes a while to accumulate things and the experience. But in 4 years, these young ladies and gentlemen, they have accomplished something that I didn't think we would do in 4 years. And that was win a state championship. If you guys would just stand up, please.
If you wanted to come up here and stand at the front, and the reason I say that, come on up here and make a line, because this will be replayed. It's on YouTube and we play through Rutherford
Oh,
County
they all will
television. So for parents and students, you'll get to see yourself. We want to put you front and center, okay?
Go ahead and move that. Face that way, right?
Yeah, look that way. The camera will pick you up.
Now, this is not all of them. Of course, there's 24 on a team, but Summer and the Predators have taken a pretty good chunk of them tonight. There's 2 in particular I'd like to take a special recognition, and that's Kiana Bauer. Is Kiana here tonight? She placed second in the state in the middle school girls division with a score of 285 points out of a possible 300. And the second young lady I'd like to recognize is Abby Heifel. I know she's here. She's right there. And her proud parents are here also. And she came in 4th place in the girls middle school division with a score of 282 points out of a possible 300. So, and these young ladies and gentlemen represented the state of Tennessee recently in the 2017 Nationals held in Louisville, Kentucky, and they finished 53rd in the nation out of 242 middle schools that competed. So, I give you the 2017 state champion. And if I might, I would be remiss if I didn't mention 2 gentlemen that happen to be in this room that have a tremendous impact on the success of these young ladies and gentlemen, and that is Principal Mr. Murray, I think he's here somewhere.
He's here.
Hiding. His undying support. And of course, Mr. Creasy, who happened to be the principal when we stood up this program 4 years ago. And they're both here, and I'd like to thank you also. Thank you.
Well, the high school champions were from this county as well, and Central Magnet is a two-time high school champion, and this is our team. What's here this summer right now? I've got several that are on vacation and working, and
Would they come up also?
they will.
Let's come on up.
Come on up, guys.
We will not shoot arrows at you.
Come on, scoot over a little bit more, Constance. We had several people place in the top five. Chase Wyatt was our fifth place male. He's in New York on a senior trip right now, so he had a 286 out of a possible 300 for fifth place. Samantha Upchurch, who's here tonight, she placed fifth as the fifth place female in the high school division with a 288. Kaylee Corbin, who's working, she tied for second with a 294 and lost on a shootout by 1 point to finish third in the actual tournament. So she had to stand up in front of about 5,000 people, and her and one other girl had to shoot arrows, just those two only on the range. So she handled that with amazing grace and came up 1 point short. And then Allison Blanton, which we've already met, won the state title individually. She was also the overall best archer that day at the state with a score of 297 out of a possible 300. So for those of you that have never shot archery, that's pretty impressive. So, that's our state high school team. One other fact is the freshmen on this team, this is now their third title. They have won 2 middle school titles and now a high school title. So the freshmen on this team have been champions for quite some time. So, okay, thank you guys. And then Mother's Day weekend, as Coach Kessinger had mentioned, we participated in the Nationals. Our high school team finished 22nd in the nation with that score. So with a score of about, 3391, almost 3,600's perfect. So we were just shy of getting 200 points of being perfect, so which is hard to do. So, but we also had some individuals that really did well at nationals. We're talking about competing against 15,000 other archers. That's the number of archers that participated this year in the national tournament in Louisville. Mason Putnam, a fifth grader at Buchanan Elementary School, placed ninth. Come on up, stand up. He's the first individual to break the top 10 out of the state of Tennessee.
Oh, all right.
Okay, good.
Kaylee Corbin and Allison Blanton tied for 8th place. They had a score of 293. Mason had a score of 285. So Kaylee Corbin and Allison Blanton from Central. Allison, you can come on up. Had a 293, and they were tied for 8th place with about 7 other individuals with them. And then Connor Smathers He's over here. He shot a 296 at nationals. Finished in a tie for third with 5 other individuals. They also had a shootout in front of a few of their friends. After the shootout, Connor ended up in 6th place overall, tying once again by 1 point. But these 3 individuals plus Kaylee all were named to the All-American academic team. Okay, the National Archery in Schools program also has an academic program where the coaches can recognize not only great archers but great students as well. So, and finally, Buchanan Elementary is the first team to break the top 10 at nationals from Tennessee as well, and they've got some of their kids here too. Coach Isaac Putnam's here to say a few things about their team, and I thank the board again for allowing us to come and introduce these fine students, athletes here.
Hello. Thank you for giving us time to come and recognize these young men and women for what they have done. My name is Isaac Putnam. I am one of 8 members on our coaching staff. It takes a village to raise a kid, and we have 43 of them. So you can imagine 4th and 5th graders in a gym thinking it's playtime when you're there trying to practice. So it takes quite a few of us. This year has been fantastic. Magical is really the words for it. It is accomplishment that I did not ever think would ever happen. I mean, we go in there, we practice, we have fun, but at the end of the year, we did place 8th overall in the nation for Bullseye, and then we also placed 9th overall in the nation for 3D. During the state tournament, we came in 2nd as a team for Bullseye, 1st in the team category for 3D. Then we also had, in the boys elementary school division, we took 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place for Bullseye. 1st place, 3D, and then in the girls division, we took 5th for Bullseye. So we had lots of good archers going on this year. And actually, team, if you would like to, come on up. Everybody. Okay. So recap. So Mason Putnam got 2nd place in state. Gage Davenport got 3rd in state. Reagan Garrett was 5th in the state. So that was our state individual for Bullseyes. And 2 months later, as we've discussed, we went to Louisville, Kentucky in May to shoot in nationals. Again, getting 8th place in Bullseye and 9th place in 3D. With Mason Putnam, he was 9th for Bullseye individually out of 2,300 elementary school kids, and then also placed in 6th. We also had another young lady to place 29th, which, you know, it's 29th, but what that does, those 2 individuals were, with those scores, they are able to go to the world competition in Orlando, Florida, and shoot individually at Worlds, so they had to qualify to be able to make it. Also, with our score, we, as a team, qualified to go to Worlds. So it's been a fantastic year, and these are a part of the young men and women that made that happen. I do, however, want to take a moment to tell the stories that you don't hear, right? So I coach basketball and baseball and softball, and competition, I love it, right? It makes you strong, and you have to have courage to get in front of people and do things. And in this room, there's a lot of kids that have done it. But what you don't hear are the stories of the ones in the background, right? So we give recognition to all the good shooters and whatnot, but it's a team effort. As a coach and as a parent, it's awesome to see kids come in and see where they start at the beginning of the year and where they end. This year in particular, in the the stories that you don't hear are the kids that come from broken homes, or the ones that have disability that do shoot archery or anything of that nature. And this year we've had 2 young ladies that I know of right off the top of my head that came from situations that I would never imagine to be in. I didn't have a broken home, but they did. And to see them start out as basically lost little kids and be able to show them love and the sport of archery, make them focus, and then at the end of the year, they end up being confidence and focus and end up making the principals list and making the honor roll. It is amazing, and that's the true value that I see that comes from archery. I don't see it in other sports as much. I mean, I see it, but in archery, it takes those kids, put their arms around them, and allows them to grow. So I would also like to take that time for those stories that you haven't heard. They're there, and they're there every year. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to just address the parents and coaches and archers that are here. I want you to stay. I know that we have many extremely boring things that are about to start on this agenda, necessary, but maybe not the most exciting. But the next 4 items are very exciting, and I'd like for you to hear what these coaches and directors have to say about these 4 individuals, all of whom I think are here. Aren't they here?
I think so.
I think so, too. Go ahead, Mr. Director.
Okay, we're going to start with, of course, it's the TSSAA Spring Fling tournament that was Murfreesboro. Again, we get to host that. I'm going to ask first Coach Evans from Oakland High School to come up and introduce one player. If you'll come to the mic, Coach Evans, and give her a chance, because this is one of those lifetime things, you know?
Amani Udamana, if you'll come up here, please. Okay. And I'll say a few things about her, and then also I want to thank the school board and Mr. Odom. Thank y'all so much, and also for Mr. Spurlock for giving me a chance about 5 years ago to come over to Oakland and to go ahead and let this old coach have one more shot at it. And one of the privileges that I've had as a coach, I guess, is to be able to work with athletes that have very, very supportive parents. And this is one case in which it is that way, and I really appreciate that. But Amani this year, in her senior year, came along, and I think it came down to probably one jump in a rain-soaked pentathlon in Ray County, in which we had about a 5-hour delay to making that high jump, make it possible and everything for her to compete in the pentathlon. But for her to be able to do what she did in the state meet is phenomenal. Probably the best athlete on the female side that I've ever had, to think about it. For her to be able to compete in 5 events on a Monday, rest up a little bit, and then come back and compete in 4 other state events and be able to be on the podium 4 times during the state meet is really a phenomenal event. And also to be state champion in triple jump. So I really admire her ability to get out there. She's an athlete, a few words, but a lot of action. So that's really why I appreciate her effort in doing that. So thank you so much for y'all being able to give me a chance to go ahead and work with her and enjoy to do that. And I think most all the other coaches would say the same thing. Is one of the key ingredients to being a successful coach is telling the athletes that you love them, and they know it, and they share it back with you too. So thank you so much.
And I think from Siegel High School, either Mr. Creasy or Mr. Parker or Coach. Okay. Another state champion.
This is Donovan Whitmore. It's been a privilege to coach him this year. He always has a smile on his face. He's got a twin brother they're just alike. You can't tell them apart. Most happiest kids I've ever seen, I think. But it was a privilege to coach him this year. And the state championship this year, as a part of the 4x1 team relay, they placed 4th with a 43.09. Also, he placed 2nd place in the 100 meter with a 10.97, which was a tie for the first place. Somehow they gave him 2nd place. But as the 2017 state champion in the 200 meter with a 21.83, Don Whitmore.
Donovan, how did it make you feel?
I felt pretty good.
You not finished second in the 100 by 3/1000ths of or 1/1000th of a second, something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that's pretty close. And then you won the 200.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, young man.
Thank you. Do we have anyone here from Riverdale? We have a winner there. Okay, great. Mr. Fields here, I recognize him. Good, come on up.
He moves faster than that. First of all, I want to thank the board and everyone's in here in attendance tonight. Recognize all these athletes. I guess Coach Evans is the oldest tenured coach in the room in here, and so we have some great kids that we have seen some great kids come through Rutherford County and becoming state champions. Michael Scruggs is one of them. His story is pretty unique because Michael almost didn't make the track team this year, but Michael decided, hey, it's time to do what I got to do, to make life and things go well for me. And Mike has become a model student, And when you talk about student athletes, and he has exemplified that in the last 3 or 4 months. And I'm greatly appreciative of him becoming a student athlete because he has little brothers that looks up to him. So when you got a big brother that's doing the right thing, the little brother's going to take note. During the state track meet, he was on the 4x1 team. He was on the 4x2 team. He ran in the open 200, and he won the 100-meter dash by that 2-millimeter second. They had to go to the camera it took them about 10 minutes to figure it out, and they had to go to the camera. But, him being a junior and all these other athletes coming back or going on to college is a great testament of the county spending that money that, y'all talk about, putting these facilities in, that these kids will have a great opportunity to excel on the next level. And we greatly appreciate that.
Michael, anything you want to say? He left you, didn't he?
2,000ths or 3,000ths of a second, that was the whole year. Me and Donovan were like this the whole year. So we ran in 2 different heats too. So when I found out that it was that close, it was like, what? Like, what? It was just crazy because that happened the whole year. But I'd like to thank Coach Field for pushing me all year. I didn't really expect to win state or anything. It was my first year running track, so I just came out and I came out with a bad attitude, but, Coach Phil pushed me and made me realize that in order to get to where I want to be in life, I have to have a better attitude, better work ethic. So I'd like to thank my mom and Donovan. All thanks goes to God, too. I couldn't do it without him. There's people that are not as blessed as me, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank Coach Kastner. Got to notice today.
Good evening, everyone. I have Emilio Martin from Blackman High School, our state high jump champion. Emilio came in, he's a freshman, of course, and he was entered into a jump off at the state championship meet against the guy out of Memphis from Bearden. And you think, when you look at Emilio, he's pretty quiet, shy guy, at the beginning of the track season. I thought, well, who is Emilio going to do? When you have a field half full of freshmen, you look for that one leader, that's going to lead those freshmen, is going to encourage them to keep coming back and working harder and improve on their performances. But this was my guy. Emilio came to track practice every day, worked hard. At the end of practice, you'd see Emilio running extra 400 laps to improve himself because he wanted to be on that 400-meter relay team. He would fill in for anybody. At the drop of a dime, somebody got hurt. Coach, I'll run. Coach let me in, put me in. So it was always Emilio. Well, Emilio started doing the high jump. I think the first meet, Emilio probably got 7th or 8th in that first meet. Well, that's all it took. Once we got to the Rutherford County Championship meeting, he placed first. The feeling must have been a little good to him because he never went second again after the Rutherford County Championship. Yeah, first at the Rutherford County Championship meet, the subsectional meet, the sectional meet, and then state high jump champion here as a freshman. Went cleared 6'5". On his jump.
Mr. Emilio, how is it to have a coach as former police officer and criminal justice major and all that? She pretty demanding?
Nah, she's been fine. I'm very blessed to be here, standing right here today. And I'm really grateful for my coaches and my parents. Because I was planning not to run track, but my mom told me to come out here and jump a little bit. So I had to follow up with her words. And so I got 3 more years left. And yeah, very blessed.
We're going to hear more from you.
Thank you. Okay.
That was a good evening.
That was excellent. I wish the rest of it was going to be that good.
Okay, number 9 is financial matters. This is the 2017-18 centralized cafeteria budget, Fund 143. The motion to approve the 2017-2018 centralized cafeteria fund budget needs to be amended to reflect $19,367,000 in estimated revenues and $20,080,425 in expenditures, with $713,425 coming from this fund's balance in order to balance the budget. This is in line with our practice in this fund. We typically have an excess balance which must be used to support this program. Recommend approval of the motion to amend the 2017-18 centralized cafeteria budget, Fund 143, with revenues of $19,367,000, expenditures of $20,080,425, using $713,425 from restricted for non-instructional programs, account 34570, as presented.
Questions from the board on Part A, financial matters? If not, I need a motion. Mr. Hodge, thank you. A second? Mr. Estes, thank you. Any other comments? All in favor, please say aye. 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 Part B.
Part B is a property tax change for 2017-18 general purpose school budget. And board members, you may remember that the Budget and Finance Committee did divert 1 penny of our budget away. So that's what this amendment is about, to put our budget back in line with their approval. The County Commission's Budget Committee voted on May 24, 2017 to move 1 penny of property tax from the GPS budget to the debt service budget. This is a reduction of $574,939 in revenue. We will now be using $7,440,471 from unassigned fund balance to balance the general purpose schools budget. Recommend approval. Motion to approve using $7,440,471 from unassigned ending fund balance to balance the 2017-18 general purpose school fund budget, with expenditures of $364,221,644 and projected revenues at $356,781,173.
We discussed this the other night, perhaps more than we should, but if we have other comments, now is the time. If not, I need a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Young, Mr. Blair, thank you. Any comments? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Part C.
C is our differentiated or alternative pay plan for 2007-18. Staff proposes to change Rutherford County School System's differentiated pay plan for 2007-18 and make our grandfathered EDS and doctorate degrees available for central office administrators who are specialists and supervisors. This change will help us attract knowledgeable and skillful individuals who will supervise educational programs and provide professional development for classroom teachers. Recommend approval of the motion to change the Rutherford County School System's differentiated pay plan and open our grandfathered EDS and doctorate degrees to central office administrators who are specialists and supervisors in the 2017-2018 school year.
Questions or a motion?
Move.
Mr. Blair, thank you. A second?
Second.
Ms. Moore, thank you. Anything further on that? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Number 10, bus contract.
Okay, this is an amendment to our bus contract based upon changes in the legislative session this year. In the recent legislative session, the state legislature adopted a new law pertaining to buses which, among other things, requires the school system to provide a policy or a procedure for the collection and maintenance of bus maintenance and inspection records. Board Attorney Jeff Reed has amended the bus contract, which was previously approved for the 2017-2018 through 2020-2021 school years, to add language requiring bus contractors to provide maintenance records on their buses within 24 hours upon request by the school system. Recommend approval of the motion to approve adding the additional section requiring bus contractors to provide maintenance records on their buses as provided in the revised contract as presented.
Questions or a motion to approve? Mr. Hodge, thank you. A second? Mr. Estes, thank you. Any comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Number 11.
Number 11 is a student discipline appeal. The board has been requested to review the May 25th, 2017 decision of the Disciplinary Hearing Authority, DHA, to uphold the expulsion of a student from Smyrna Middle School. The student was expelled for 1 calendar year under the board's zero-tolerance policy for having possession of a weapon on campus. This review is pursuant to the provisions of Policy 6.317. The policy states that the board shall review the record and shall 1, affirm the decision of the DHA, 2, overturn the decision of the DHA, or 3, grant a second hearing which would be before the board.
Questions or comments or a motion?
Move to affirm the decision of DHA.
Thank you, Mr. Estes. A second?
Second.
Mr. Blair, thank you for your second. Any further comment? If not, all in favor of upholding, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ready for number 12, insurance update. Anything, Ms. Barnes? Okay. Darn, hate to hear that. That means you've had your last meeting. Okay. You know, Ms. Barnes, since you're sitting over there, this is the third time now we've said goodbye to you. And it's not getting any easier. But aren't you, I think you said you were impressed, the fact that this entire board and that staff, your friends over there and here, kept this a secret tonight.
I knew something was up when Miss Michaels told me I needed to put on lipstick. But yes, I was very surprised. I had no idea. So thank you all very much.
Okay.
That's the lady in them, isn't it?
Yeah. Director's update. Mr. Odom?
Okay. Nothing to add tonight other than I did send you today, received last evening, the commissioner's update, which comes every Wednesday evening. And I sent you an item from that which was also shared with principals, which relates to the Tennessee's ESSA accountability plan. So if you want to take the time and want bedtime reading or something, you're welcome to open that up and take a look at it, because again, the federal approval of Tennessee's ESSA plan may not come until July, but these are the elements that we expect to be included in that as presented by the commissioner on Tuesday of this week, excuse me.
Anything else, Mr. Director? Any questions for the director? Ms. Moore, I assume we have nothing on 14, I don't believe.
Nothing to report, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, skipping 15 and going right to 16, general discussion by board members. We don't normally make announcements here, but this is sort of a community event, and I just want to get it out there for those that might be watching on television or in the room. at the 68th Blackman Barbecue is coming up on the 23rd, and it's at the Grove, and it starts at 5 o'clock, and the food and the politics and the conversations and just general community fun on that date, the 23rd. I don't know if does anybody have anything else that they would like to discuss tonight or mention?
The auctioneer, Steve Sandlin, was actually in our audience this
He
evening.
was, and his wife,
Barbecue.
Tammy, is the president of the Blackman community thing. She schedules the picnic, so it's really a great event, a lot of fun. Ms. Michaels, when will this wonderful group be back together again? Next Thursday. That's budget. Okay, and we'll be looking. That probably be our last 15th. That'll be our last look at the budget, probably.
And we have amendments again, which was typical for us this time of year. So Mr. Sandling's prepared some amendments also for that evening.
May have some new figures from the state. That's possible. Some updates, maybe.
It would be nice.
Yeah, sure would. Mr. Hodge.
Jordan, I'd like to just take a minute to thank each board member, Mr. Old, Mr. Michaels, that came to the funeral home last Thursday night, and it meant a lot to them and I both. She told me to also pass along the flowers that everyone gave were some of her favorites. It was a hard loss, but she's a whole lot better condition was to go in, and it's been a hard loss for one being on the child, but she's doing well. So I just want to thank each board member and just appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Well said. Any other items under general discussion? Good to see the legislators here tonight, all these archery people. Well, that was great, and our state champions. I mean, it was really fun. Thank you, Ms. Moore, for your work also on organizing really both of those things, really. I appreciate it very much. It all went well, and we got a chance to I think, celebrate some pretty happy people.
You know, a lot of the archery started, was it Christiana Elementary, or didn't you maybe start some of that, Ms. Benson? But it kind of started at Christiana, and then y'all went all the way to nationals very quickly also.
Yeah, but we're blaming you. I mean, you can put it off on somebody if you want to, but we're going to blame you. That's our choice. We voted earlier on that. It was 7-0. It's really great to see. And isn't it amazing, board members, fellow board members, what just a little money and a little opportunity and try to improve your facilities, what that can yield? I mean, it really is terrific for so many children. And no insult intended for these youngsters that were here tonight or anything, but not everybody is a basketball player. Not everybody can run around a track at super speeds, or carry a football or block, but a lot of people can do something. And we are constantly in search, not just this board, past boards and the next board. We'll constantly be in search of things where people can get an opportunity to find their niche, find what they do. And of course, it could be academics or a mixture. It often is. But anyway, I didn't mean to preach, but I'm just saying opportunity is a great thing. And the taxpayers, I think, reap a great benefit. I wonder, too, I'll throw this out there. All of us here went to graduations. And most of you went to 3 or 4 or 5, maybe 6. I didn't really keep count. And we read all of those. Eagleville was $2 million worth of scholarships. $2 million for Eagleville. 90 people, I think. 93 people total. Yeah, there were 89 that were there. Some of them were playing baseball that night, and one girl was sick, I believe. My point being, that's a lot of return on your tax money. That's a huge return on your tax money. And I just think it's just wonderful that we are able, and the taxpayers are able to offer those opportunities. Okay, it's the 15th, it's 5 o'clock, it's budget. Board have anything else? Thank you so much for your input. It was really a fun evening. We are adjourned.